And the Best Bad Acting Award goes to Erika Kirk. Erika Kirk was at the State of the Union. She was Trump's guest. And here she is crying, just without tears.
Love you, Erika. Charlie, 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 Charlie. Love you, Erika. Charlie, Charlie.
People first started whispering that Erika Kirk's grief looked staged, like it was more performance than pain. At the time, most people brushed those comments off as mean gossip. Nobody wanted to believe someone could act their way through something so serious. But now new receipts are making the rounds, and suddenly the story feels different. It turns out she didn't just wake up one day looking perfectly camera-ready. Erika had already spent years in performance circles, moving through spaces filled with trained actors, pageant competitors, and reality-style media environments. And once the timeline starts lining up, some of those moments hit different. The way she cries, the carefully timed pauses, the sudden forgiveness, the quick pivot back to calm composure. It doesn't feel random anymore. It starts to look practiced, almost rehearsed. Before we even touch the memorial speeches or that Fox News media run, we have to rewind the clock. Because this story did not begin after Charlie's passing. Years earlier, Erika was not just a quiet political spouse standing in the background. She held the title of Miss Arizona USA 2012. And pageants are not just gowns and smiles. They are basically media, boot camp, contestants trained to answer emotional questions with carefully measured vulnerability. They practice pauses. They learn how to tear up without ruining their mascara.
So the pageant world to me is something that it was an interesting season of life. It was nothing that I was ever groomed for. It was nothing that was ever on my radar. I wanted to play professional basketball.
Tomboy.
That was my thing. I remember getting something in the mail when I had come home from school one summer, and it was like, hey, you should compete it.
But that is not the only detail catching attention. An old photo from 2014 suddenly resurfaced, and people online started looking at it a lot closer. In the picture, Erika is standing comfortably next to David Henry. Yes, that same former Disney Channel star from Wizards of Waverly Place. And this was not some random fan moment or a quick selfie at an event. Erika actually posted the photo herself. The caption talked about shared purpose and calling, and she mentioned speaking together, almost like he was helping her sharpen those public speaking and performance skills. Now, fast forward to the moment, everything changed. Charlie Kirk lost his life at Utah Valley University, and the entire country was watching. Cameras were everywhere, reporters were circling, and suddenly Erika stepped forward as the new CEO of Turning Point USA. What caught people off guard was how quickly she moved into that spotlight. She looked completely comfortable, almost like someone who had been doing this for decades.
There you go. Oh, look at all the thumbs up. Look how cute that is. I'm sorry, this is a little bit more informal than probably Charlie would be reacting. How sweet. I can do that. I hate something. I'm sorry, you guys.
But some viewers noticed something else too. She did not appear overwhelmed or shaken. There was no awkward adjustment period, no visible stage fright.
Podcaster Candace Owens, okay? At one time, a friend of Charlie's, at one time, an employee of Turning Point. She has been one of the main peddlers of these conspiracies, and she is making a huge amount of money on it. She is building her business.
The shift felt incredibly smooth. When she cried, some people said the emotion did not feel completely natural.
Love you, Erika. Charlie, 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 Charlie. Love you, Erika. Charlie, Charlie, Charlie.
Then came the memorial speech. In the middle of her remarks, she paused, lowered her voice, and quietly repeated "that young man" before continuing and announcing forgiveness.
That young man. That young man.
The moment sounded carefully built, almost like someone setting up a powerful crescendo. Listeners could hear the words forming before she delivered them. Now, forgiveness itself is not controversial in Christian circles. That part alone does not raise eyebrows. The real focus is the way it was delivered and what people noticed around that moment. Things became even more intense when footage started circulating online. The clip appeared to show Erika backstage, just minutes before walking on stage, applying something around her eyes. Some viewers claimed it looked like a tear-inducing solution. That contrast is what pushed the criticism even louder. If someone truly wants privacy during a painful moment, people wonder why a phone would be out recording anything at all.
God bless you. I love you. I love you.
Even Candace Owens publicly questioned that decision. She said posting footage like that looked calculated, suggesting the moment may have been planned for public impact.
Everybody grieves differently. I wouldn't even record myself over a casket ever, okay? Some people maybe perhaps want to have that memory.
But instead of stepping away from the spotlight, Erika moved even deeper into it. Her media presence actually grew. She appeared on Fox News, sat down for interviews on CBS, and even spoke with Bari Weiss. Cameras followed her everywhere. Yet with that much attention, viewers began pointing out small moments where her composure slipped. They claimed it looked like she briefly broke character.
Watch Erika Kirk break her character.
And that's the goal for us, right? I know. You did, and he was taken so early. Parents are private. You did, and he was taken so.
Then came the State of the Union moment. When she was recognized in the audience, she stood up calm, controlled, and clearly aware that every camera in the room was pointed right at her.
Last year, Charlie was violently murdered by an assassin and martyred for his beliefs. His wonderful wife, Erika, is with us tonight. Erika, please stand.
When the camera landed on her during the State of the Union, Erika stood up slowly, completely composed, shoulders straight, expression controlled, fully aware that the entire room and millions watching at home were locked onto that moment. There was no confusion, no hesitation, just a calm, steady reaction that looked perfectly timed for the broadcast cameras. Some viewers said it felt less like a spontaneous reaction and more like someone who understood exactly how that moment would play on national television. Meanwhile, another grieving mother who appeared that same night looked completely shattered on camera.
Monster, who had been arrested over a dozen times and was released through no cash bail, stood up and viciously slashed a knife through her neck and body.
Her voice shook, her posture collapsed, and the pain on her face was impossible to miss. That contrast is exactly what people online started pointing out. To many viewers, Erika's performance simply did not land the same way.
Hey Erika, how is it that when you cry, you don't produce tears? I mean, it must be nice, you don't gotta ruin your makeup, but it is very interesting. She did the signature look up, look sad, with no tears actually coming down my face. Honestly, this is just bad acting at this point.
The clip quickly spread across social media because real grief usually looks messy and unpredictable. But what people saw on screen did not feel messy at all. It looked polished, controlled, almost rehearsed.
No confetti cannon for her tonight? Not her crying with Super Bowl rings on. Came for the comment section and relieved to see so many agree that it's all political theater.
And the reaction online kept growing. Some users even started posting parody videos, acting out exaggerated versions of Erika's mannerisms while pretending to be her.
As I introduce to you this next guest, there's no one that could replace my husband. No. There's no one that could replace Charlie. But there is someone that I think reminds me of him and comes very close and almost is maybe possibly better. That's why I want to introduce to you my new boyfriend, JD Van.
Those parody videos started spreading fast across social media. People copied the pauses, the careful voice tone, and the dramatic timing that viewers had already been debating online. In several clips, creators pretended to wipe away perfect tears, pause for effect, and then deliver serious lines while staring straight into the camera. The jokes kept piling up, and with every new parody, the conversation grew louder. As more viewers questioned whether those emotional moments had been completely genuine, the accusations kept stacking up. Some viewers said her delivery sounded robotic. Others claimed the speeches felt like they had been carefully focus grouped before ever reaching a microphone.
The enemy would love for me to be angry. He would love it. Love him.
Those criticisms kept spreading across comment sections and reaction videos.
You tell a 3-year-old. She's 3. I said, baby, Daddy loves you. It's been agonizing.
Now, to be fair, none of this proves that she is not grieving. That distinction matters. Real pain can exist at the same time as media training or stage experience. But once people started looking at her background, more questions followed. She has pageant history, reality-style exposure, connections in entertainment spaces, experience around media coaching, and years spent speaking on stages. Because of that, many viewers began asking a simple question. Are they watching raw emotion, or are they watching someone who knows exactly how to control a narrative on camera? Some observers believe the entire media rollout feels extremely coordinated. In their view, it looks like a carefully built emotional shield. Appearing before tougher questions have a chance to gain traction. Others online have gone even further, pushing much stronger theories about what might really be happening behind the scenes.
Erika Kirk is absolutely a psychopath, and I'm happy people are starting to pick up on that too. Look, I'm not a registered anything, but I can only tell you from the experience that I had when my best friend was actually a certified psychopath. Worked with our friendship is because when you're a psychopath, you don't have really many things that stimulate you in general. You feel very detached and like...
Online discussions quickly split into different camps. Some people said the situation was simple. A grieving widow who also happens to be extremely comfortable in front of cameras. Others argued the entire rollout felt too polished to be spontaneous. They pointed to the speeches, the interviews, and the perfectly timed public appearances as signs of something more organized behind the scenes. And as those debates kept spreading across social media, the speculation only grew louder. Each new clip, each new interview, and each new public moment gave critics more material to analyze and question. Now, whether any of that is true is still a completely separate debate. But the perception circulating right now is that Erika does not just look comfortable on camera. To many viewers, she looks trained. People argue that someone does not simply wake up one morning knowing how to land emotional beats in front of millions of people watching. When critics look back at her background, they point to several things: the pageant training, the friendships around actors, the reality-style exposure, and the faith-based stage culture she moved through for years. To them, that looks like a long period of conditioning. Years of learning how to command a room, years of understanding exactly when to pause, when to let a tear fall, and when to straighten posture and regain control. And when those details are stacked together chronologically, some viewers say the pattern becomes harder to ignore. Instead of reacting purely from emotion, they believe they are watching someone who understands presentation very well. So now the real tension in the public conversation is not simply, is she grieving? The tension is whether the audience is watching raw grief or watching someone who knows exactly how to package it. If you found this breakdown interesting, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, share it with others, and drop your thoughts in the comments. And as always, see you in the next one.